Ready?
We're not going to film this because we have absolutely no idea how to eat this. So we'll let you know how it goes on the backside. I crushed it. The mussels with 2 S's, or as they're called in Norway, blåskjell.
Blåskjell.
Blåskjell. And then the lobster was also very good. Difference here, instead of lobster rolls dunked in mayonnaise, they do baptism by butter. So that was pretty cool. They also pre-sliced it for us, so we didn't have to use a cracker or anything fancy to get to it. And our next stop in Portland, we get to do a lobster boat excursion, which you'll probably see us do next. But it's pretty cool because we'll see what it takes to catch these guys. So we just pulled up to Mumu's Cheesecake, and it's out of somebody's garage, but it's a 24/7 cheesecake shop, kind of based on the honor system. So let's go check it out. Where are we?
We're at the Momo's Cheesecake, and they have a nice cool pink thing to show where you're from, and I'm the first one from Norway. There you go.
Greensboro's been covered, so I'm not going to worry about it. But this is the shop. Nobody works here. It's fully honor system. So this is the reserve cooler. So if you wanted to buy one, you just pick it up here. Or if you wanted to specially made cheesecake. But then otherwise, it's shut the door because the AC's on. And you can pick out a variety of cheesecake or buy the slice, and it's $6 a slice. And it's just a little garage, and you put your money in the box and you can leave a post-it note. Alright, so we just got back from Mumu's, that honor system 24/7 cheesecake store. Fabulous. So what we did was Ernst got the Cookie Monster cheesecake, and I need you to get a good shot of that because holy cow, the colors and M&Ms on that.
Looks good.
Then he got strawberry cheesecake, and I picked out the blueberry lemon cheesecake. So we're gonna dabble a little bit in each of them and see how it goes. State number 10 is Maine, the Pine State. 90% of the state is covered in trees, and it is responsible for 90% of the U.S. lobster source. Got a long ways to go, but we're gonna be adding these ones shortly. Woo!
All right, we had a great time in Maine. Now we are going to go to, let me rephrase that. We had a great time in Acadia, Maine. Now we're going to go to Portland, Maine, where we will be staying for 2 full days, doing some lobster fishing, checking out the area, before we are finally heading to Sarah's brother's wedding, which will be in New Hampshire, which is something to be excited about.
This is our hip camp spot with Kevin and Julie. They've got basketball, free firewood, a beautiful colorful fire pit that we used a couple times, clean table, apple trees that are for apple pie cooking. So we harvested some apples, and then this was our setup. We're pulled out right now, ready to head out, but they've got a privacy wall between the cabin that they're working on to rent out, and this was the spot. We had plenty of room, full hookups. They have 50 amp and 30 amp, as well as a hose splitter already on there. And then they're also building a cabin right now that'll be on Airbnb soon enough. And you can have, if you're full-time traveling, you could pull your rig right here and then meet some guests. So done soon. But Kevin and Julie, we have loved our stay. They are so insightful on the area, and like even Acadia, they told us where to go. Like the lake that we jumped into was one of their suggestions. Mumu's Cheesecake was one of their suggestions. just all around great experience. Like, we truly got to know some locals, and we're happy to call them friends now. So if you're looking to be in the area for Acadia National Park, definitely check out Ellie's Hip Camp. So our Acadia adventure in Maine, my rose was definitely the views and the hikes and just enjoying being outside a lot with Bjorn and Ernst. What's your rose from?
My rose from Maine was the ocean. I really enjoyed swimming in it. I was able to take 2 dips, one on the sand beach and one on a path while we were hiking Acadia Mountain, and it was very refreshing.
Yeah. So my thorn for Acadia area would be, I don't know. Do you have a thorn? Ernst's grumpy attitude when he hits a wall whenever we're hiking and I want to keep on going. Ernst just says, "Nope, I'm done. We're going to the car."
We never had that.
After we rode the carriage ride, or after we did the carriage ride, and we were looping back around, I was like, "Oh, let's go this way on the Bubble Mountain." You're like, "CBA." And then on the first day when we did the lap around Gorham Mountain and we went to the ocean, I wanted to go on all those little outlooks, and you said, "No, I want to go to the car."
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
No.
Yes.
On the first hike, when we hiked 15 miles and we were on the way to the car, you said, here's the bubble road. And we both thought in the beginning that we had to climb another mountain.
I said,
maybe
let's
not.
do it.
And
Ernst
then we
was
kept
like,
going.
no.
And you said, we should probably have gone back there because we were already pretty high up. And I said, yeah, we probably should have. But at that point, we had moved past. And then, when we got to the car, both of us were like, holy moly, our legs are tired. And we went home and we fell asleep right away. We barely ate. And then the next day, when we hiked 3 mountains, and you said, I want to look at this overlook. I don't even remember you saying that. But we stopped at every stop.
No,
you
we did
wanted
not.
to take a picture.
No, we did not.
And we took those
No, we
pictures.
didn't. No,
Even
we
though
didn't.
it was the same view at
No,
every
I'm
single
talking
location.
about when we did
kept
Thunder
walking,
Hole.
and after we were done walking, when we got to the car, you said, wow, my body's more tired today than yesterday. I'm glad we went back to the car. The only time I remember saying, okay, I'm done, is when we went to the lake after the 3 mountains we hiked, and we sat there and you jumped in the water, and I said, I'm fine to stay or I'm fine to go. I'd prefer to go, but if you want to stay, we stay. And we stayed for a little bit and then we went. Get your facts straight before you put everything on me. Golly.
All right. And what was your thorn, honey?
My thorn, again, lobster in Maine. Lobster is good. Is it worth the money? No. If you want to buy me lobster, yes, I'll eat it. I'm not paying for lobster anymore. Paying $50 for 2 pounds of lobster? Not worth it.
We didn't pay $50 for 2 pounds of lobster. We paid $50 for a meal that included 2 pounds of lobster and a pound of mussels.
$40 for 2 pounds of lobster? Not worth it.
It wasn't. It was like $19 for 2 pounds of lobster.
It was $19 per pound. See if you.
No, it wasn't.
How was it not?
It was, wasn't it?
$19 per pound if the lobster is bigger than 2 pounds. So if you buy a lobster that's 2.07 pound, bada bing, $40-something.
How much was the mussel and the rest of the meal?
$11.
That makes sense. Okay, well, yeah.
My bud is to all the events coming up. New Hampshire wedding with her brother, Ben, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. That's my buds now.
My bud is getting a bike trailer for Bjorn so we can take him and the bikes out, because one of the things that we didn't do, and I wish that we did, was to bike more, but because we have Bjorn, we would either have to like limit our excursion days or take him with us, and he doesn't have the endurance to run next to a bike for miles and miles and miles. So we're gonna go check out some bike trailers for the dog. And my other bud would be to when we move to Norway and we can have our own lobster traps and we can cook and make our own lobster, because that would be worth it, wouldn't it?
Sure.
He's just not paying for it anymore. But little does he know we're gonna go catch some lobster in this next stop. We're not done with Maine. We're on to Portland.
From the back of the eye to where the back meets the tail on our measuring tool from point to point. It's exactly 3 1/4. So I'll set the first point down behind the eye and then set the second one down. If that lands up on the back, it's long enough and we can keep it. If that hits the tail, it's too small, and that is on the back. We got to keep her. Here we go. That's a good start. Alright, that would weigh about 1 1/4 pounds. That's the most common size. And then here's his little buddy he came up with. Little guy. Now this one's got a smaller claw on that side. They lose their claws when they fight with each other, and then they'll grow new ones back. So that's in the process of growing back. Eventually that'll be full size again. This lobster would be maybe a year old. It takes them 7 years until they're big enough to keep. Wow. We've got some laundry. He's smart. And then a couple of crabs. So this is a Jonah crab, and these are an edible species, but there's not really enough meat in there to give them a lot of value, so we throw them back in. The meat's just in the claws, and the shell is really hard too, so you don't get a lot out of there. So that's the Jonah crab. And the other one we have is a green crab. Oh, that's a male and a female. I think they were on a date. That's the green crabs. So these guys are actually an invasive species. They came over from Europe about 100 years ago, and their population wasn't very significant until the last 10 years, where the water in the bay has warmed up to the point that's ideal for them. So now their population's really taken off. The problem is they eat the larvae of the clams, so the clam population's down. So we're gonna split them up. Yeah, well, the seagulls are eating it. So that one we'll just chuck in, but Yeah, so there's no log. It's
The bird ate it.
Girl thought she was on a date and ended up
I know.
lunch for a seagull.
This is what you get for being an invasive species.
Oh, he got it.
Our invasive species.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You have to keep them out?
I mean, nobody's policing you, but you're
Right,
not
right.
allowed to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Felony? Oh.
Usually,
Try
usually
this
takes
one.
permission.
That is not quite a keeper. It's super close, but it just passes the back. Just misses there. So that one we'll throw back in. That would be like 6 years old. And they'll only grow when they molt their shells. So throughout the year, this shell's not getting any bigger. It stays the same size, but it gets thicker and thicker. And then it will split down the back, crawl out from its old hard shell, and have a new soft one develop underneath. That new shell will be 10 to 20% bigger, and at this size, they molt once per year. Next time that molts, we can keep it.
It's crazy, the birding.
Little guy here. Small one. So that's what we run them for the tours, but especially we'll do 10 out of 9. We don't think they're in.
It's awesome catch all, but a really good keeper.
Good boy. Maybe not so far out.
We just went to Walmart for a few things. We've got a new chauffeur.
Just waiting there, looking for us. Hey, Mr. Guy. This is stoic.
We're trying holy donut, potato donuts. Very colorful. Ernst, you dove into the chocolate one. What are your thoughts?
Pretty good so far. Excited to try the rest. What was this one? This is a normal one?
We're going to attempt to save some for tomorrow when we arrive in New Hampshire with my family. Right?
Yep.